Farewell and adieu, ye fair Spanish ladies. We are going to do a look at a master game. William Steinitz, formerly Wilhelm Steinitz, playing Augustus Mongredien, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. This was in London, 1862. So this was when Steinitz first jumped onto the scene. I'm not set up at all. Don't know why here. And William Steinitz, when he started out, he wanted to be like Anderson. That was his thing. That was his hero, and he wanted to play like him. Hold on here. Setting something up on the side over here. Making sure I can see what's going on my monitor. And this was, like I said, this was when he first jumped onto the scene. He's playing white. This was London, 1862. And he played e4, and black played the Scandinavian, the dreaded Scandinavian defense. And after knight c3, the reason here that white exchanges is so that he gains a tempo on the queen, and he went back to d8. Not a recommendation of mine. I know that that guy John Bartholomew recommends this or something, but yeah, I can't say it's to be highly recommended. It just doesn't make any sense. White's just going to be ahead some tempos here. Queen a5 is the main movie here by far, and Queen d6. I think that's called the Tibiakov variation. That was popular for a while, but I think white has found a way to exploit that. So Queen d8, and Steinitz played d4, and black played e6. I don't think this is the way you're supposed to play it. I think you're supposed to pin the knight when it comes out, and then basically trade off the pieces. Not a very ambitious plan, but that is black's plan, I think. Knight f6 or g6, these seem to be popular moves here, but e6 is what he played. Knight f3, and he played knight to f6. Now there was a game, Paul Morphy versus some guy named Guibert, where he played bishop to d6, and Morphy developed like this and just brought his pieces out and into the middle and did this little Pillsbury type of thing, and so on and so forth. And that was actually drawn in 42 moves. So maybe Mongredien was thinking, hey, if you can draw Morphy with this. But he played knight f6, a novelty for the time. Just normal development here, getting your pieces out. Don't worry, there will be training questions coming. White played bishop e3. Fine and dandy. Queen e2 comes to mind. Maybe putting the rook on d1 to stare at this enemy queen. Maybe that's one of the plans. And then say knight c6. Attacks his pawn a second time. Rook d1. Notice there's a little trick here. Very famous trick. I think it comes up in the French a lot. You cannot take that pawn. You cannot take that pawn. Looks like, hey, you want a free pawn, but because of this discovered attack, bishop takes h7 check. Oopsies, I win the queen. So what happened? Knight b4. Well, this is analysis, so this is not what happened. But knight b4 maybe attacks this guy. And then let's say maybe you jump into this square, and I jump into that square. Or b6, knight e5. This is just all some variation, but it's not what happened in the game, so too far astray. Bishop e3 and then b6. This was the game. If he goes knight on b to d7, I think white could go here anyway. White can just go there anyway, because if you were to take, it looks like, hey, I've traded my more active knight for a more passive knight, but after this, where does this knight go? I think if he goes to d5, I'm coming out with my queen very quickly to attack on the king. And if you go knight to d7, oops, sorry, after this, if you go knight to d7, I think it's basically the same thing. I'm going to bring the queen out here somewhere, maybe play f4, and then who knows, f5, something like this. That's a possibility. So knight e5 might have been a good move in response to this, but he played b6. Makes sense. He wants to get his bishop out. And now he played knight e5. I think he wants to follow that up with queen to f3. and bring the queen over to the king side to attack. And here we go. It is the first training question for you. Give myself a chance to breathe, give people a chance to tune in. It is black to play. What is the move for black? What do you think black would play here? So I guess white's slightly better here in this position. He's got better development anyway. Look at these guys back here. So he's got a lead in development. Black to play, though. He can make one move to catch up. What move would you play as black? It's not that hard. I mean, he played b6 on the last move, so it's pretty obvious what he wants to do, I think. Bishop b7. This stops queen f3, by the way. Yeah. Anyway, after this, bishop b7, he played f4. Queen e2 comes to mind, again, to slide a rook over to d1. Plays f4. So this type of thing came up in the Morphy game, this position, right? This knight supported by the d pawn and the f pawn. Morphy only got the draw with that, but I'm sure that Steinitz was familiar with that game. So what happened is he played knight on b to d7. Knight c6 comes to mind. Queen e2 now, and then knight to d5. Well, maybe he should lash out at the center. You don't want to leave this pawn back here backwards, so this is typical idea to lash out at the center here. And then, you know, white will slide his last piece over into the game, I reckon. He played knight to d5, and well, he took on d5. I think he's got to. If you try queen h5, looks aggressive. Looks like you're going to win a pawn over here. It looks like you're going to checkmate, actually. Well, what can I do? Two things. One is I could have just developed my piece and attacked the queen and defend on h7, so the queen has to go away, and then get rid of that guy. So I guess the queen has to come back over here, so the queen's journey was not looking too good. But you could also play g6 and also make the queen go back and take there, and then play c5 like this. I think maybe it was black in that position, in this position, because now all black's pieces are getting active, especially his bishops. But he played knight takes d5. I think that's correct according to Stockfish anyway. Tuck back with the pawn. Could have taken back with the bishop. The pawn blocks the bishop. But I think he thought that maybe here he's going to get attacked, and he would. By the way, queen h5 is answered by g6 or f5, I guess. So c4 attacks the bishop. Oh, by the way, f5 is just answered by taking. And yeah, if the bishop takes or the rook takes, I guess I can just start taking some guys. And then what? Could even do bishop e6 to get rid of this aggressive guy. What else? Yeah, or you could it maybe go g6 here? Is g6, is that a mistake? It's looking pretty iffy here because now I'm going to pin. And if you were to take, oh sorry, let me make the pin. And if you were to take my guy c4, it's getting complicated all of a sudden. I don't know, some complications arising there. But okay, so after bishop d5, c4, bishop b7, rook on a to d1, and then f5 for black. And according to my computer analysis from earlier today, this is better for white. Not winning yet, but better. All right, he takes on d5 with the pawn. And then Steinitz played rook f3. The rook lift. And this is going to be one of the themes. I might even do this as for part of my because I was going to do attacking chess on the rook lift, except last night I was so tired I just fell asleep on the couch. I watched the ball game and it was just like start snoozing. I was so tired. I rarely miss a stream, but I missed one last night. I apologize because I was just so tired. But one of the things I want to talk about is this rook lift against these 3 pawns here, and that's what happens in this game. So I might even look at this one again this week, so watch out for that. If I went in for the mate right now, answered by knight f6, the queen again has to run away, and now not bishop c8, attacking the queen. Looks like, hey, I'm attacking the queen, but f5 follows here, shutting out the bishop. Now I did shut out my own bishop, but I can follow it up with that rook lift again. So this is a theme. So not bishop c8 here, but knight to e4 is, I think, the correct way to shut out the bishop. And if you tried this now, I guess I could go bishop g5, I'd say, I guess. Kind of threatening to stop this rook from lifting up. But anyway, he played rook f3. This is probably correct. And black answered it with f5. Exclam. Because there's a threat here, I guess I should show the threat. If it were white to move again. So we're skipping a move for black. So after I play rook f3, there is a threat. Bishop takes h7 check. Kablamo! Look at that. Rook h3 check, and here comes the queen, and I'm gonna do a mate. Notice the knight will stop any type of escape on f7, and I believe, well, I guess you can give up the queen to stop the mate. So block with the bishop and then give up the queen, but you're gonna lose. So he played f5. Good move, shutting out the bishop. If he goes knight takes e5, maybe not the cleanest, because after pawn takes and bishop c8, this stops the rook from entering over here. I guess I have rook to g3. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Always hit the mute button, kids, before you cough. That's professionalism. All right, and now, once again, I have this threat after rook g3. Once again, I have this threat to take on h7, and then follow it up with a checky, and then bishop here, threatening mate. And if you play g6, I have my annihilation attack. Kablamo! Check and mate. So I guess g6 here maybe. I put some long lines in here. I don't know what I was thinking. I got carried away and put in some really long lines here. So I guess white wants to get another piece into the attack. Bishop h4 is attacking the rook, but there's some more excitement coming. Hold on to your seat, kiddies. Here it comes. Bishop h6. Exclam. All right, if he takes my rook, I do not take his rook. I take his bishop. And let's say he saves the rook, and now queen f3, looking for a mate on f7. The bishop protects that, but now queen f4, and I'm going to play my bishop back to g5, to f6, queen h6, and mate on g7, if you can follow all that. So big attack for white there. So black did the best job that he could here and played f5. And Steinitz continued with his idea of swinging the rook over. Could have considered including the last piece in the attack. That would have been the coolest way. That would have been the most instructive way for us people. But anyway, he comes over here, going straight for the attack. And he plays g6 because he sees what's about to happen. If he were to play something like c5, natural move, that's a move he's been looking to play. Well, here I come, looking for mate. If you play knight f6, queen takes f5, I save the queen. And so he plays bishop c8. That's a mistake, by the way. So he's losing here anyway, but I mean, because g6 is answered by this check, right? And this is going to be curtains. So bishop c8 is not much better because this allows mate in 3, starting with a spectacular sacrifice. Should make some training questions here, but I didn't. There's so many lines, though. My only training question so far has been the one lame-o one. I need to work on improving where I put my training questions. Here you go. White to play. Queen takes h7 check. Queen sacrifice. Check. king must move. Knight g6 is mate. Nice. All right, so backing up. Knight f6 then, not so hot. What about h6? Well, here I go, rook g3, threatening queen takes h6 due to the pin on the g file. Lots of stuff going on here. Bishop h4 attacks the rook, but once again, do not move the rook. Boom, take on d7. Look at that. And if you were to take my rook, I'll take your rook, and I think I'm just up material there. And if the queen takes the knight, now I can take the bishop like this. So that ain't working. So c5, normal thing, is going to run into a big wood chipper attack over there. That's maybe more than a wood chipper. It's explosive. It's an explosive attack over there. Queen e8 doesn't do the business either, because here white has g4, prying open that diagonal for a major mucho attack. But he played g6. In the game, he played g6, stopping me from playing queen to h5. Here you go. So it is white to move. I'll make it a training question now. What is the best move for white? Can you find the best move for white? This will give me a chance to breathe, give you a chance to think. White to play. Follow the rules of the attack. That's what I got to say. That's my hint to you. Follow the rules of the attack. So, oh yeah, I was disappointed in my man. Hey, Brick, rook on a to f1. I love it. You got it absolutely right. Let me give you a sound effect for that.
That's right.
Bring all pieces into the attack. That's what you're supposed to do. And you saved me from making comments on world events, Sue. Good for you. Okay, I lost my spot. Where am I at? Okay, g6, yes. More pieces into the attack. That would have been the best way. Steinitz played g4. Very aggressive. Very aggressive indeed. But it's okay. According to my my notes, I put in here that white has an attack, but it's probably would have been stronger with another piece in first. So nicely done by Brick. You played a move, I think, that's better than what Steinitz did. But it paid off because Black blundered. Black thought he could grab the pawn, and now it's over. This game is going to be over. All right, he should eat some guys and then play, I had in my notes here, f4, attacking the bishop, and then maybe bishop c8, pinning this pawn. And even though I had white is slightly better here, I guess white still got some attack. Maybe it's defensible here. I still would pick white, but it's hard to figure out exactly how white's cracking through there. But after f takes g4, it is over. Can you find the move for white? I'll give you credit for two different answers. Yeah, some awkward pieces there. So yeah, look at these black pieces. These two guys aren't defending. I guess this one defends a bit. But look at these pieces, these white pieces over here in the attack. All these white pieces are attacking. Everybody except this guy. So yeah, lots more pieces attacking than defending. But now you have to find the best move for white. You are liking rook takes h7. Unbelievable. Nicely done. Rook takes h7 is exactly what Steinitz played. Rook takes h7, baby. Queen takes g4, also winning, by the way. So I would have given you full credit for queen takes g4. Let's take a look at some of these lines. Queen e6 check is coming, I imagine, because I drew an arrow there. So I guess that's what I meant to say. If he plays knight f6, I got some choices here. Queen g2 is still winning. It's not as good as queen e6, but it's still winning, threatening to just smash through on g6. And if he comes over here, I can do this rook takes h7 idea again, undermining the g6 pawn like this. So that's still a winning idea, but queen e6 was even better according to the computer. King comes forward, and here comes f5. Trying to rip this king side open. All right, rook g3. This is the computer line. Bishop c8. Rook takes g6 check, and then king h1, preparing to slide the other rook over into the attack. That was killing. Instead of knight f6, what if he takes the knight off? You should take back with the d pawn here. Let's look at some mistakes I could make. Queen e6 check, not so good. I could block with the rook even. Could also block with the knight, I suppose, but blocking with the rook gets 2 exclams. Double exclam for blocking with the rook. Couple of lines here, so I don't mean to get tangled up in all these variations, but if I try and smash it open like this and then take this guy, black has a couple of ways here. Both are winning for black. Bishop c8 attacks the queen. Well, I've got this check, and I can save the queen like this, but after bishop f5, my pawn is held, and I just don't have enough pieces in the attack. I mean, this one threatens mate, but I guess queen g8 or bishop f8 would stop that. So backing up, instead of bishop c8, what if queen c8, trying to trade off the pieces, check, and then rook g7. Oops, you're pinned to the king. So queen e6, not working. Back in this position, what if I just take the knight? Now I play bishop c8, the queen is in danger. If you play e6, I can just come and round it up with rook f6. So that one's not so good either. So here you must take back, like with the d pawn, not the f pawn. So remember, if the f pawn goes here and I go e6, you round it up. But if I take with the d pawn, and now you go here and I go there, and you go here, not quite the same thing. I got queen h4 here. White is winning in this line. Queen h4 here. Sorry, I'm trying to do a comparison here for you, Brick. So let me go back to this other line. If f takes e, goes there, rook f6, and now I did queen h4, you would have this check. You see, this is the difference. This is why you had to take with the d pawn and not the f pawn, because now the queen would hang. So you got to take the other way, so that when you go like this and he goes here, now I can go queen h4. You don't have the rook f1 check. So, and I'm threatening to take here. So I guess h5, rook g3, threatening to take the h pawn. King gets out of the pin. And then say queen g5. Let's say the rook takes and attacks my queen. Check. And take here, etc. White is winning there with a big attack. So queen takes g4 is winning, though it's also very tricky, But Steinitz played the cooler way. Rook takes h7, double exclam. Look at that big sacrifice. That's the way Steinitz liked to play in his younger days. He wanted to be like Anderson. Oh, hold on, computer's glitching here. Give it a second to cool down. Cool down, computer. Saw that rook takes h7. The computer all of a sudden getting hot. Gonna crash on me, it looks like. There we go, I'm back. Nope, not quite back. Rook takes h7. So hot it crashed, almost crashed my chess-based program. All right. In the game, he plays knight takes e5. But let's look and see what happens if the king takes. Well, here, queen takes g4. By the way, knight takes g6 is also winning, just so you know. But queen takes g4. If he goes knight f6, boom, I'm crashing through like this. Check. And then this cool move, king h1. Bring the last piece into the attack on g1. So instead of knight f6, there's knight takes e5, but now I can go here because, yeah, bishop c8 is nothing because g6 is going to fall. That's winning. So he decided to take the one on, decided to take the knight. Here you go. Training question for you, Brick. I'm going to capture the knight. You got a 50-50 chance. Do I take with Daryl the D pawn or with Fred the F pawn? Which one should you take with? 50-50 chance for Brick. One is winning, one is not winning. If you pick the wrong one, you're not lost, but you're worse. If you pick the best one, you're winning. They both look good, but I like F takes E5 better. Are you calculating, or are you trying to play by intuition here? Which one are you doing? F takes E5 is absolutely correct. Nicely done, Paul Stanley. That's a Paul Stanley win there. Hold on. Did I turn off my Paul Stanley? Can't see what's going on here. I didn't give the... I'm going to do the Paul Stanley one again. Intuitively, because it denies the activity of black's light squared bishop. Hold on. I'm going to redo my Paul Stanley one here. I'm not seeing my Paul Stanley pop up there. Hold on. Third time's the charm for Paul Stanley. Get on there. All right. Okay, finally. Nice. Paul Stanley having trouble today. All right. Paul Stanley upset about the trouble in Israel. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. What were we looking at? Yeah, F takes E5. Because, and for some reason, I don't have it in my notes. But if D takes E5, King takes H7, Queen takes G4. I got stockfish going now. Rook G8 protects the pawn. Just following the stockfish line. F5. Yeah, I'm not seeing exactly why. Maybe because I can go F. No. Let's see the difference here. If F takes E5, King takes H7, Queen takes G4, Rook G8, Queen H5. That's like the other line, right? No, here Rook G8. I didn't play Queen H5. If I play Queen H5 here, I'm losing. That's no good. I tried Queen H3 here. I'm trying to decipher the difference between the two. Because the computer is showing that it's just... In this line, when I took with the D pawn, it's slightly better for black. And I'm trying to decipher now, live on the air, what the difference is between those two. I should have prepared it a little better. Thought I had it prepared. Because white's dark squared bishop doesn't attack H6. Exactly. This bishop is blocked out of the attack. Nicely seen. Yeah. So after this, queen takes. And if you played Rook G8, I go here. Yeah. The bishop is helping support this square. You are absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct, Brick. Yeah, so this one opens up my bishop for the attack. That's the big difference. In the game, he did take the rook. Let's look at some other lines, though. Maybe I put too much notes in here. I don't know. I analyzed it. I thought I was doing... But anyway, bishop G5 is going to be answered by bishop takes G6. And if rook F3, double attack on my bishop, I do not take his bishop. That would be bad. It looks like I'm doing some good there, but now black all of a sudden has some counterplay. I think white's still better, but black has got more counterplay than he should have gotten. So bishop D2 is actually the answer according to my notes. Exclam for that, because that's kind of a strange retreating move. And yeah, if you were to take me, for example, I take back. Yeah, I guess it's not that strange now that I think about it. I'm just outthinking myself here, just putting it on a safe square because it was attacked twice. And then after bishop a6, all right, deflection, you get this guy, but now the queen comes to b5, and etc. White is winning. So yeah, so bishop g5 is interesting but doesn't do good enough. Bishop a6 is kind of interesting, trying to divert my bishop away, because then you take here. But I don't have to move the bishop. I can simply move the rook. And rook f3 is also answered by rook h6. So none of those are holding, so you might as well take this guy. Hang on. Pray that you can do it. But queen takes g4. g6 is in danger. He did play rook g8, as we already saw. Rook f5 not working. Trying to give some material back. Check. 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 And here's this move again. King h1 followed by king g1. Best defense is queen e8. And now after check, taking advantage of this pin on the pawn. Uh-oh. Computer is now got the wheel spinning. Chess base. What happened? All right, so queen h5, taking advantage of this pin on the pawn. Oops. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to have a chess base crash. Nope. Didn't crash. Taking advantage of this pin on the pawn for the third time. If he runs back here, I can take with the bishop. And I'm threatening some kind of mate, so I guess he better give me some material, but white doesn't even have to take the material. Again, the first rule of the attack, all pieces in the attack. Moves the king over to h1. The great attacking move, king to h1. All right, bishop f8, and now rook g1, for example. Checky, and boom. Because if you take my bishop, I take here, check, and then I take there, and if you take with the queen, I'm doing this, and if you take with the king, I think you're getting mated even quicker, like in one move. So that's after king g8. All right, queen e8, queen h5, check. If he goes king g7, now I have this check. Again, this is the reason he took with the f pawn and not the d pawn. All right, king g8, take here. And again, this cool move, king h1 and queen h5, and that is winning. So let's go back to the game. So in the game, he played rook to g8. Here again, taking advantage of this pin. King g7, here you go. It is white to play. What's the best? What's the best move for white here? What's the best move for white here? Training question for the brick. Training question for brick. How about bishop takes g6? Bishop takes g6. Huh. Bishop takes g6. Let's take a look at that. I guess... Go away, queen. Go away, queen. I'm not seeing where my attack is coming. I think bishop takes g6 is a little slow. Let me turn on Stockfish. Stockfish says bishop takes g6 is a losing move after rook h8, queen f5 he wanted. I looked at queen g4. He did say rook h4. Then he wanted queen g2. And then king h8, and then etc. I'm running out of attack. Queen takes g6 is what I was trying to get you to say. That rook is annoying. I was trying to get you to go queen takes g6. I showed this to some students the other day, and they all immediately took on g6. And then I went, aha, fooled you. It's like doing a magic trick in front of children. I was worried that king would run into d7, yes. But my point being, queen takes g6 is a huge blunder. That is sloppy, but I can see myself doing that in blitz, right? I could see myself doing that in blitz. Take there and go, oh no. So the answer is queen h6 check. Has to be this. And now check. If the rook blocks, now the bishop takes. Can't take me back because of the pin. King moves, checky, and mate. So after queen h7, it's king h6, and then boom, I come back here. Check, not letting the king escape. King comes back this way. Rook f1 check is what he played. Computer said e6 check was a couple of moves faster. Difficult to find, but this is also, I think, leading to mate, if I remember correctly. King e8, queen e6, nice move. Pinning this bishop, attacking this rook. The rook saves himself, defends the bishop. But now he played bishop g5. Good move, winning move. So wait a minute. Queen h6 where? Oh, yeah, queen h6 in that position back there, yeah. So here, though, the computer says better move was actually bishop h6, though both are winning. So I don't know how much better it was. So if you moved the rook to, say, g8, for example, then I could do a deflection like this and checkmate you like that. Actually, not mate yet. Okay, get it, take there. So maybe queen c8 trying to trade off. Queens, what is the winning move for white here? This didn't happen in the game, but this is a variation that I was looking at. What's the winning move for white here? What is the winning move for white in this variation? Are you saying bishop takes g6 again? Bishop takes g6. Your favorite move, bishop takes g6 check. And the rook takes. And the queen takes. I suppose I'm still winning there. I didn't quite see the win. I didn't quite see it. All right, let me put on stockfish. I didn't think rook f8 worked right away, but that could be it instead. I'm looking at this bishop takes g6 now with the help of the computer. He says, take that guy, get rid of that guy. I mean, you got to, right? You're in check. There's nothing. I mean, running away is going to get mated quickly. So rook takes. I just put this on for the youngsters that watch. That would be answered by rook f8 check. Bishop takes and queen e8 mate. All right, but rook takes. I want to get rid of that guy. Queen takes. All right. I found all that. White is still winning here. White is still winning, but okay, here's where I messed up. I want to play bishop. It wants me to play bishop g7. Followed by h4. Just simply push the pawn up the board then. Just say, okay, there's no mate, but I'm going to make another queen. Going back, though. Yeah, it was, as you said, it is rook f8, double exclam. It does work right away. Because if the king takes, well, the bishop can't take back, it's pinned. So the king has to take. And now the rook is pinned, which means the g6 pawn is now en prise. I can take it for free. All right. The line I had in my notes was this. Check. That was a free piece. Check. 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 And e6. And so on and so forth. I mean, how are you going to stop me from checking you here. Or here, actually. Guess you're going to have to give up the queen. All right, so that's a side variation. He did not play bishop h6. He played bishop g5, which is also winning, by the way. And now, getting close to the end, he played queen d7, says, please trade queens with me. But if he goes bishop c8, still not good enough, because now I have this check. If the bishop blocks, I have this cool move, check, queen sacrifice, checkmate. If the queen blocks, I have the same trick, check, check. Now it looks like he's got a place to run, but this bishop is pinned, so now I can play rook f8, check. In the game, he played queen d7 here, but bishop takes g6, check is going to mate. Again, you cannot run away because of rook f8, mate, so he's got to take this guy. Queen takes check, runs away. Rook f8 check, taking advantage of this pin. He blocked with the queen. I guess this went all the way to mate. And then took with the queen, checkmate. So that is Steinitz. When Steinitz first came onto the scene in 1862, the early Steinitz, the young Steinitz, the skinny Steinitz, before he had the white jumpsuit. This was Steinitz back in the leather jacket days, when he tried to play like Anderson and played smash mouth chess. So interesting game there, one of Steinitz's famous games. Cool game. I thought I knew all the Steinitz classics, but never saw. This is like his first one. It's like the first one of his famous games, the earliest one. I will look at some more. I think I'm going to look at Anderson game tomorrow night, maybe, or the night after. I'm not certain. I gotta work a long time tomorrow, a long time. So I probably won't start until late tomorrow. I don't know how late, but I probably only have time to prepare like another classic game that I kind of know already. So I'm thinking about that Anderson-Rosanis game. Maybe look at that tomorrow night. Still preparing that rook lift thing, but I want to do a good job on it, so I don't want to just throw some rook lifts out there. But this could be part of my training for the rook lift this week with this rook lift idea. This was a cool, neat idea. Where is it at? This is the type of attack I want to practice this week with the rook lift. So this game kind of fits in perfect with that theme. What happened? Big loud noise outside. Anyway, my friend, thanks for stopping by, Brick, and the lurkers out there. I see some lurkers out there. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Until that time, adios.